into bad assets.
Hey!
Yeah.
We did it this time. Do you remember?
We're getting it. There was a few that did it, so that makes me happy.
I was right there ready for it.
A Bunkers and Badasses podcast. Why don't we jump right into some badass facts? Going alphabetically like we have been. First up is Ashley.
I'm Ashley, and I play Dove, and I have a bird named Duck, well, a hawk named Duck Norris. And I guess our bad asset fact today is Dove loves to play extreme hide and seek.
Extreme hide and seek.
What are the rules to extreme hide and seek?
There are no rules. Why would there be rules?
I don't know. Make it more extreme.
As well.
When you're found, do you die?
Haven't gotten that far. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, you've never been found.
If the day comes, I'll let you know.
Well, it sounds like she's winning. What is your archetype and class?
Oh, yeah, that whole part. Yes. Dove is a hunter. Class is a hunter, and archetype is an elementalist. There we go.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Next up, Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian. I play Bruno Albero. He is an elementalist as the archetype, and as a class is a siren with the focus on phase lock abilities. And the fun fact for today is that Bruno had met the Nomad 10 years prior due to a dealing with a gambling issue.
That is very, very true. Very true. And it was really badass. We might get into that more later.
It was like a badass gambling addiction.
Yeah. The whole scenario was pretty badass, to be honest. Up next, we have Davey.
Hey there, I'm Davey. I play Haramis Flay Guildlock, who is a guardian necromancer. And today's badass fact is that other than being a chef and being an awesome vault hunter, he's also very much into sustainable farming and botany. Because that shit's badass.
Yeah, environment.
You could have just said, my name is badass, because that's a great name.
I mean, it is a badass name. Took some time, thank you.
Did we do archetype in class?
He did.
Oh, cool. Then I'm just drunk. Up next, Julia.
Hey, I play Penumbra. I'm an enforcer gunzerker. And my badass fact is that I'm actually a trained masseuse.
We're learning things. That's awesome.
Using the fingers for good.
Hey, you'll learn things about me, but not certain things about me.
And for myself, Jay, I play the Nomad. I'm an enforcer berserker. And my badass fact is I might or might not be an expert animal handler. Yep.
That sounds like a badass hypothetical, but okay, I'll allow it.
So I'm hoping we run into some animals that aren't birds. And running this whole show, we have our illustrious BM, stands for Bunker Master, Ian.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ian. I'm the bunker master for this particular adventure. We are running through the Assault on Dragon Keep, which is one of the pre-made adventures in the Bunkers and Badasses source book, which we never mentioned up till now. I realize that is an oversight. It's not a badass fact, though. A badass fact about me, speaking of Bunkers and Badasses and the Borderlands world as a whole, my favorite class is the Assassin, as you can probably tell if you watch the videos, and that is my little avatar for my bunker master is the Assassin throwing dice.
Nice. All right. Do we want to do a quick catch up to where we are and get this show on the road?
Yeah, so last time we left off, our adventurers here had just come across Mr. Bony Pants Guy, everyone's favorite. This big hit. Everyone loved Mr. Bony Pants Guy. He's the people's champion, Mr. Bony Pants Guy. But unfortunately, he is also dead because through the power of teamwork, especially this sort of burgeoning tag team duo in Penumbra and the Nomad, the Mr. Bony Pants Guy got his shit wrecked hard and was virtually lifeless by the time that the rest of the group came in and ended his miserable existence. And he lies dead as the gates to Flamerock Refuge opened, and that is where we left off. So let's get into it.
If he was a skeleton, wouldn't he already be virtually lifeless?
There was a lot of life in him. Didn't you hear all the cursing?
Yeah.
Amongst his shattered remains, there is the duty of splitting the loot to go over before you head in to Flamerock Refuge. Upon his person, Mr. Bony Pants Guy had an uncommon SMG called the Decent Flambe, a common SMG called Flying Embers, a common sniper rifle called Burning Boar, and a common shotgun called Flint and Steel. The common factor in all of these is these are all incendiary weapons, so they will all deal incendiary damage. So who would like what? All right. So the decent flambe goes to Hermes. You pick it up, you realize it's got sort of a greenish glow to it, which lets you know it was uncommon. And it is now a part of your kit.
Oh, cool.
The Flying Embers. Does anyone want to take the Flying Embers SMG?
I don't feel like I actually need anything unless it's a rocket. Wait. Can I bend one of these around my knuckles? Nah. Yeah, you guys go ahead.
I wanted the shotgun.
The Flint and Steel. Okay, so that is a common shotgun. Will go directly into your equipment.
Thanks.
Dev will take the Flying Embers SMG then if nobody else wants it.
Okay, you go ahead and grab that from the pile. It is just a common, but still, fire damage is better than no damage.
I did see you doing some pretty incredible damage with that sniper rifle. Wasn't there a sniper rifle in the group?
Yes, the Burning Boar.
Oh,
That makes more sense to me.
that does make more sense.
All right, so you drop the Flying Embers directly on the ground. Don't need it, don't want it. And instead you pick up the Burning Boar. Seems more your style.
That makes a lot of sense if you've ever played Borderlands. You're like, yeah, I can't
Oh,
carry
yeah.
all this. I don't need
Oh
any
wait,
of
this gun's a turd.
You pick up the Flying Embers, put it in your pocket, and then you see the Burning Boar. You go to pick that up, and you get a little thing like, nah, sorry, inventory's full. So then you drop the Flying Embers and then pick up the Burning Boar again. So does anyone want this common incendiary SMG? Does anyone want it? Or are we just leaving it? Just leaving it on the ground?
How
Can
are
we
the
sell
stats
them?
compared to the one that I already have?
Probably real similar.
Okay.
You know what? I'll go ahead and throw it in my inventory. I have something funny I can craft.
All right, take your word for it. So reluctantly, you pick up the Flying Embers. It is now a part of your equipped weapons.
You're going to put the SMG into the rocket launcher, aren't you?
No,
That sounded a little defensive there.
I just have to figure out how to hold the trigger down before I do it.
So, who here did not end up with a new weapon?
Just me.
So there is also 200 gold, if you would like that, or it could be split amongst the party. That's kind of up to you.
Bruno will not say no to the gold.
That's Bruno.
As you pick up the gold, all remnants of Mr. Bonypan Sky just dissipate and sprinkle and turn to dust and disappear.
Wait, even the toupee?
Oh yeah, especially the toupee. That was the first to go.
The toupee was a crime against nature.
It was not built to last.
All right. I'm a little bummed. I'm gonna walk into town. I'm bummed though.
So in front of you, the gate is open. The embattled town of Flamerock Refuge looks to have weathered many hardships in its day. Great evidence of this lies on the faces of its people. There is no life here, merely survival. Craftspeople and merchants tend to their trades not as work, but as toil. A small number of rooftop tethers extend skyward, each mooring a modest watch airship, silhouetted against the eternal twilight. Flamerock Refuge is a city poised on the edge of oblivion. You enter the town of Flamerock Refuge. You see the town's scouting blimps always alert in case of bad guys and stuff. Not the sort of skeletal bad guys like at the gate, but other different bad guys that they definitely take care of and don't need your help with.
Of course.
So in front of you is Flamerock Refuge. You have a few areas that you can explore freely. A few areas of interest would be the town square, which is here in the middle with the fountain and statue. We have Moxie's Grog, which is a tavern of some repute, ill or otherwise. There's an armory, is a kind of a lone building up to the west of the town. There are some streetwise wharfs, which is a small area to the east, which is known to have groups of kids and stuff running around doing whatever it is that groups of kids do that isn't inside. And then to the absolute north, there is the Perception Overlook, whereas the gates that separate the town from the wilderness beyond. So where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
What kind of tradesmen do we have here? Is there a place that we can sell things? Is it mostly just buying things? What are we looking at here?
So it would be mostly the armory where that would go down. The makes weapons, but also sells weapons. Kind of a 2-for-1 double threat situation there. And if you have any weapons you want to get rid of, you might also buy them.
Yeah, I can get rid of this flying embers. I was just literally gonna throw it at someone or put it in my rocket launcher.
That would have been apt.
But if they, for the right price.
I mean, you still can do that.
It's no fun now that it's been called out.
Yeah. I mean, that was my plan. But if I throw it, what is it gonna do? Like,
What if you duct tape a grenade to it? Will that do anything for you?
I don't know. I don't think.
I'm just spitballing here.
I don't know. I really. I was thinking about trying to figure out how to tie the trigger down so it's firing, and then load it in the rocket launcher. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll just blow up.
You know what? We'll brainstorm it. Maybe we can find you a better gun and we can table this till later.
You are creative with your destructive attributes. I have confidence in you.
I appreciate that. All right. I guess let's just walk forward, kind of taking the sights. I mean, I don't have anywhere I need to be. I could go for a drink.
Yeah, let's go hit the grog.
Sounds good to me. We can always find some good information at the bars.
So Moxie's Grog is the building that's kind of to the left of the statue here. So if you want to move towards there, you will actually start walking through the town square as well. And any of you can move because you all have control of that.
It looks like we're
More
already.
like drunkenly stumble.
As the adrenaline from the battle you were just in wears off, you start to stumble through town, and random town people are looking at you a little funny. They notice Bruno and the horns, and they're sort of keeping their distance a little bit. They notice the nomad looming over, so they're keeping their distance a little bit more. And they notice Hermes, and they compliment him on his beard.
I love when people do that.
And
Makes me feel
everyone that
special.
you pass, if any of them lock eyes with Duck Norris just follows them with his eyes as they go past until they're out of sight.
With his piercing eyes.
Yeah.
Bit of a tough crowd.
Bruno tries to nod and smile at some of the people who are eyeing them warily. Try to reassure them that we are good people.
Yeah, I'm with Bruno. Let's be our squad. I'll just smile at everybody and kind of wave and, you know, that small town feel thing.
So you hear people whispering. They're asking if some sort of circus is in town. They're like, what the fuck are these guys doing? They obviously don't know of the threats that just happened at the gate, but they are wondering why the gate was opened for the lot of you. You also see next to the statue of Queen Butt Stallion, the queen who is missing, is someone dressed in sort of like a knight's uniform or a guard's uniform, and you assume that to be one of Queen Butt Stallion's guards, and they look super bummed, and they are sort of, they're not making eye contact with you. They're sort of sitting with the statue and just seems like a little depressed, a little bit out of sorts.
As we're passing people in the street, can I stop someone and ask who that is?
Sure. Yeah, so you grab, well, I guess you don't grab. You nudge
I'm not going to assault anybody.
a random townsperson, and you ask them
Who's the fellow over by the statue?
Oh, that's not a fellow. That's Ellie, Eleanor. She's the queen's bodyguard, or was the queen's bodyguard before the queen got taken. She's taking it a mic
Awkward.
personal.
Yeah, she must. I can't imagine what it'd be like losing a responsibility like that. Are they good folk? Are they talkative?
They left immediately.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I'll see you later.
Bye.
You
What do
do-
y'all think?
you just wanna
Continue
go
for
over?
a drink. You know what? Why don't we invite him for a drink?
That's a good
Sounds
plan.
good to me.
That's neighborly. Who wants to do it? I have social anxiety.
Bruno approaches the downtrodden soldier. Good day to you.
She looks up at your group, notices your horns, sort of looks a little bit puzzled, but then kind of like wipes her nose a little bit. Goes, what do you want?
Good day to you, madam. I am Bruno Emilio Bosco Albero at your service. My friends and I, we just came through the gates and fought a band of skeletons, I believe under the leadership of a one Bony Pants guy. We come here because we have a contract that this town was in need of some help. It seems that you are one of the higher ups here that we are tasked to seek out, but it appears that you seem to be down of some sorts. Can we ask what trouble avails you?
Sorry, I'm processing all of this. I gotta. You all killed the bony pants guy?
Si, senor.
Yeah, no, he's done for.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was supposed to do that, but I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't really feel up to it today. I was gonna try again tomorrow because he's been out there for like a week, but I said that last week too. Well, I mean that problem solved, so I guess congrats.
No, you should have seen it. Like Penumbra, like picked him up, and then I leg dropped him, and there were some shots, and there was some other cool stuff that happened. It was
pretty
really
badass.
Who's a number? What?
Oh, that one over there. Point to Penumbra.
I just give a little wave. Hey.
All right. Anyway, we've been, I've been a little bummed recently. The queen was taken, and as the queen's bodyguards, obviously, it's my goal to stop that from happening, and kind of failed, which sucks. But I can't leave my post. I'm not allowed to leave and go get her. I feel kind of useless in this moment. I'll be real with you, strangers. You don't even know me. But right now, I feel a little bit lower than low.
Well, in my experience, the best thing that brings up some spirits is some spirits. Why don't you go get a drink with us? Maybe we can buy you a meal.
I mean, I guess that could theoretically lighten my mood.
Aramis claps her on the back and says, "Hey, let's go."
Okay, she's following. She's there with your group. She kind of trusts you a little bit as you've gotten rid of the Mr. Bony Pants problem. Kind of lightened her workload. And so you head towards Moxie's Grog.
What kind of doors are on this? I want it to be saloon doors.
So no, just normal doors.
Oh.
As you enter, the rough crowd in this tavern has bravely chosen to drown their troubles in cheap grog. Moxie's Grog isn't too busy this time of day, except for a couple of career beverage enthusiasts who ain't yet broken the seal. So in front of you, you see, God, just so many. There's more than you thought there'd be at this early part of the day. Bar patrons, ranging from verbose to vigorous, active, sarcastic, perverse, creepy.
Shitty.
That one's eyeballing you. Shitty. Yeah, there's a shitty bar patron. Bitchin'. Oh, we got a bitchin' bar patron. It's a lot of fun. And a crass one who just keeps saying bad words.
He must have been a sailor. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of people here to drown their sorrows.
Might as well join the people, am I right?
So as you walk in with Eleanor, the patrons turn toward you.
There's a music like the music
Yeah.
stops.
There's a record scratch sound,
Buongiorno.
Howdy.
and immediately you feel the tension in the room just start to build. So what has happened is that the town, Eleanor's not the only one who blames herself for the disappearance of the queen. It seems that the patrons of this bar, as well as the town in general, also blame her for the queen's disappearance. So you have brought in someone who none of these people seem to like, and they want to throw fisticuffs about it.
Find more cheer in a graveyard.
So this is what we like to call a bar fight.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Bar fight!
That's fair.
I love fighting.
As you look across and see that these people are about ready to have at you, you go over in your minds the rules of the bar fights. Bar fights aren't like other fights. First off, they're in a bar where people are either trying to drink themselves out of a hangover or drink themselves into one. They don't want to hear all the bing bang boom. So rule number 1, no guns allowed.
Done.
All right, fair enough.
Rule number 2, it's a bar. So at any point, you may grab an adjacent drink and chug it to see what happens.
Okay.
As you'll see, there's sort of an L-shaped bar with the proprietor Moxie standing behind it. There are 9 bar patrons at various tables spread throughout this sort of small tavern. It's got a little bit of room. It's a little bit roomy. There's enough for, probably double this amount of people to fit in here total, but it still feels a little bit cramped. On quite a few of the tables, there are drinks, there are beverages, which you can chug, and you will have to make a roll on the tragic effects of alcoholism table to see what happens.
Oh, no. It's my family history all over again. That's a joke. Let's not get all serious.
Well, you guys were like, man, How are we gonna navigate this fight? I was going, man, how can I go from table to table and drink all of them?
That would be a feat.
All right. So would anyone like to do or say anything before this kicks off in earnest? Because it is about to get rowdy.
Well, I'm kind of over here, walking the door. There's pretty much a wall that runs right along the right side of the door. 2 tables kind of in front of the door, one kind of off to the left a bit, and then the L-shaped bar is off to the left. I'm kind of next to this table, next to Haramis, in between Haramis and perverse bar patron that's in front of us. I was going to be like,
Be perfect.
excuse me, gonna cut on through here and just kind of sneak in between them and just work my way up to the bar. This isn't my first time to a place like this.
It looks like you are about to get something thrown at your head, but you make it to the bar successfully.
All right.
Would anyone else like to take any sorts of action before throwing fisticuffs?
Is it okay if Haramis just follows Jay?
So Haramis, you want to follow the nomad.
Thank you. I couldn't remember his name.
Yep.
Shitty with names.
You end up are standing next to the bar, directly next to the nomad and the creepy bar patron, who's just looking you up and down and up and down, and that's going to continue until we roll initiative. So however long you want that to go on for, that's all on you.
I'm going to initiate. I swing both ways if that's why you keep eye-fucking me.
Hermes, you cheeky fool.
Hey, can you pass that drink down here?
I'm going to reach over for his drink.
After this, things are going to happen, just so you know.
I'm
Wait,
aware. I'm
no.
trying to make them happen.
No. Well, things can happen at the same time with everybody else.
Yeah, let everybody else go first.
All right, so you grab a drink will be the last thing that happens.
I want to come over here and jump on top of this table.
Ah, yes, you are going for the strategy of one Kenobi, I believe? The high ground approach?
Yep.
I got that reference.
It's an old circus play we used to run. You loved it.
Penumbra, you jump from where you are onto the table next to the perverse bar patron who is looking directly at your shoes, and is just like, oh, I didn't know it was my birthday.
I mean, they're gonna get my shoes, but not the way she wants.
Okay, Bruno and Dove, is there anything that you want to do before it gets rowdy?
No, Duck and I are scoping the room to see our next spot. He's doing all the hard work right now.
Perfect.
Bruno, anticipating the imminent fight, goes over and joins his friend, the Nomad, at the bar.
Yeah, I whisper over to Bruno. Yeah, this isn't looking good. So, you know what to do.
Quick thought right before we start. What's the attitude of the bartender?
So Moxie is the tender of Moxie's Grog, owner, operator, proprietor. As you all three saunter up to the bar and she sees everything that's about to happen, she takes one sort of leisurely step back and is just going to let this play out. If things get broken, people have to pay for them. So she is not really bothered by bar fights, as long as they don't cross her bar top.
Okay.
Well, I still apologize. Sorry for what's about to happen.
All right, can I go ahead and reach for this man's beer?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So you grab the creepy bar patron's beer as he watches you intently. He's eyeing you up and down.
And I want to slug it right in front of him.
Take it and you swig it. In the rollable tables directory, there should be one that you can see called the tragic effects of alcoholism.
Fantastic.
Why don't you go ahead and give a roll on that?
So we roll. The tragic effects of alcoholism table comes up with a 6. So I get +5 damage, but I'm pissed drunk. A teammate has to maneuver and steer me at my target. Sweet.
Well, I guess I'm up.
So at this point, I think it's fair to say, roll initiative.
Welcome! My name's Hermes Flay Gillock, and I'd like to thank you for listening to Bad Assets, a Bunkers and Badasses podcast. If you could, please leave us a review on the podcast service of your choice, as that would help others to find the show and grow our network of beautiful bastards. And now on to the show.
Bruno rolls a 4.
Nomad rolls a 5.
Haramis rolled a 12.
Dove rolled a 13.
Penumbra rolled a 20.
All right. Well, being bar patrons in various states of drunkenness, their badass rank is only a 3. So you all will be going first. Starting with the number 1 on the table, Penumbra.
So, perverse bar patrons, eyeballing my feet, and I'm gonna give them a closer look, and I'm gonna drop kick them right to the face.
All right. So are you running into this at all? Is this just like a standing drop kick, or is this like a missile drop kick?
Just a standing drop kick.
Okay.
I think we should kind of describe what that is, because some people might consider a drop kick just full on 1 foot kick right to the face, whereas a normal drop kick has a little bit of a jump and use both feet to kick them.
Right. And then if it was a missile drop kick, it would be you running at them before it's like a leaping drop kick.
Yeah, you turn into a missile feet first.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like I have that much room on the table, so I'm just gonna do just a standing drop kick, both feet, right to face, hopefully land my ass back onto the table.
Nice.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
The way to kick things off.
So why don't you go ahead and roll a melee attack with your +5.
I rolled a 13. Says it's a hit.
Okay. How much damage are you dealing?
6.
6 damage to the perverse bar patron's face, making them think twice about their perverse ways in the future. Or maybe not, because they're drunk.
Probably not, because they're drunk.
Yeah. All right. Would you like to do anything else?
No, because isn't that just all my action I can do?
Yeah. I mean, this is still an encounter, so you could always do things that give me mayhem.
Not right now.
Okay, great.
Maybe not. So I'm done.
So next up we have Dove.
Yes, so Duck Norris and I are going to take 2 steps up here by the perverse bar patron. Dove is going to grab this beer right beside the perverse bar patron,
Okay.
and she wants to chug it, and then after she chugs it, she wants to take it and smash it on the perverse bar patron.
Awesome.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Okay, so would you go ahead and give me a roll on the tragic effects of alcoholism table?
We got -2 ACC plus 2 damage.
Yep, so that would be -2 accuracy. So your accuracy for your melee attacks is going to go down, but your damage is going to go up.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and make a melee attack with the mug. Mug 'em.
We rolled a 7, even with the -2, which is a hit.
So roll damage, and I'm gonna have you add 1d4 for the mug on top of after you roll damage. So whatever you get, we'll roll another
Okay.
1d4 and add it to it.
Alright, so first we got a 2, got another 2, so we got 4 in damage.
2 and 2, so 4 damage. The mug crashes them across the head. They did not see it coming. They are still reeling from the effects of the other hit, and they kind of drop to one knee and like lean forward, and then they go to turn around to look at you, but that's kind of all that they have time to do in the chaos.
Alright. Well, and Duck wants to go ahead and he wants to swipe his claws at her too to try to knock her the rest of the way down.
Okay, yeah, that's melee. This is a bar fight, you know. Duck Norris has definitely been in his share of bar fights.
Yeah, he has. He knows what he's doing. So Duck swipes his claws at an adjacent target, and he does... That was a really high, but that is not what I was rolling.
A 1d41. All right, yep, deleting that one.
4 plus 1.
That duck is yoked.
Duck does 2 damage.
So the perverse bar patron goes down, passes out, and is no longer a part of this fight. Is sort of draped over the table. In reality, probably didn't have a lot of idea of what was going on or why everyone was angry, but didn't need to know because now they are unconscious.
This is a bar fight. Whatever. You don't need prior knowledge. You just are.
Anything else before we move on to Hermes?
Nope, Duck and I are good for this time.
Okay. So can you explain to me how the somebody else helps me aim or whatever since I'm drunk?
So for this to work, you can always like hold your actions or go after someone, and normally everyone in the before enemy step can go in any order, so you can kind of pick whatever order you want to go in. So if you want to wait for the nomad to maneuver you before you start swinging them fists, then that's totally fine. That is known as like holding your action. You're waiting for an event to take place before you act.
Okay.
So if you would just like the nomad to go first.
Yeah, nomad can go.
All right. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab Haramis by his shoulders and position him right toward that creepy bar patron. I mean, what he does after that is his own thing of getting him pointed in the right direction.
All right.
Is that just like a free action to kind of, is it treated kind of like a potion?
Yeah, kind of. For this instance, I would say yes, because you haven't drank anything, so it doesn't really... You positioning someone doesn't really affect what you can do on your turn. Now, if you had started drinking, and maybe that would take up more of your movement or your actions that you could do. But in this case, right off the bat, Hermes is the one that's drunk, but you've pointed him in the right direction, so you can go about the rest of your turn freely.
Awesome. Is everyone sitting down, or are they standing by these tables? I mean, I see the benches, but...
Right. So as this kicks off, the sarcastic bar patron and the active bar patron, who are positioned behind where you are at the bar, right? So there's the bar, and then there's the table that's directly behind you. They're both stood up and are ready to get into the fight. The bar patrons that are farther away, like the vigorous bar patron, the albino, crass, bitchin, verbose, and shitty bar patrons, they are watching but still sitting.
Okay. The night that we came in, just a few more questions. Are they just kind of standing by the door in shock and awe right now?
Yes, so Eleanor realizes that this may be her fault, so she has not entered. She's just going to stand outside and make sure that no one comes in to try and gang up on you. She feels if she was to enter, it would make things worse. People would be more riled up.
Okay. I guess first, I will just roll on over here to this drink, and I'll chug it.
So you grab the drink from the table that is behind you, and you drain it in a matter of seconds. So go ahead and make your tragic effects of alcoholism roll.
Oh.
Okay, this is fun. I rolled a 1. Projectile vomit. Take 2d6 acid damage. Ground becomes difficult terrain. Good times.
Yeah, so the square directly in front of you is now...
I'm just getting this image of like this 6'12" dude standing in front of somebody, slamming a beer in front of them, and then just hurling everywhere. It's very funny. Like, can you imagine what it would be like to sit at a table and somebody just does that in front of you? God.
Absolute power move.
Establish dominance early.
Exactly.
That's funny.
You projectile vomit directly in front of the sarcastic bar patron, right on the... It's sort of like there's a bench there, and it's like a 2-seater, so he's on the other end. You have puked all over the seat, the part of the bench that he's not in, and a little bit the part of the bench that he is in. And his response is like, oh, well, this is just great. I am so glad I came in here to get drunk today. Very sarcastic. But also a little bit grossed out.
I think I need to roll the 2d6 acid damage, right?
You definitely do.
All right.
So you have taken 6 damage from the projectile vomiting. The spot right in front of that, if anyone is to step in it, it is difficult terrain. You have to roll a terrain or a traverse check to just not slip and fall on your ass in vomit.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Now, I still have... Was the drinking my action?
Nope, just like potions, that was a free move.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
It was a free purge.
I want to gorilla press the active bar patron and slam them into the square directly in front of me that I vomited in.
So yeah, on the other side of the table is the active bar patron. They've seen all this happen in front of them, and now you're going to try and grab them and slam them into your vomit.
I'm going to lift them over my head and then just slam them on theirs right through the... I want to go through the corner of the table, but we'll see how the cards fall.
Sure. I guess make your roll with your +5, because I believe the Gorilla Slam is a wrestling move.
I rolled a 19.
So you just go ahead and click roll damage there.
Rad. I rolled an 18.
Oh.
Yeah, so let me know how you just ruined the active bar patron's day.
Yeah, so it's a gorilla press, and typically you kind of grab them by the throat and then lift them up with the other hand on the legs over your head. They're facing down. In wrestling, you throw them to their back, but this is a bar fight, so I throw them on their head. I spike them kind of like a lawn dart through the corner of this table.
Oh man, so you spike this person like a football.
Yes.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Into a pile of puke.
Into a pile of puke that, I mean, if they get up, they're going to have a hard time getting out of,
that
probably.
stain out, yeah.
Yeah.
So as you slam them down, the last two sensations they feel is one, the vomit hitting their face hitting the ground, and their feet coming to have a conversation with their ears as they scorpion themselves into oblivion.
Alrighty.
They are done. They are unconscious and just a crumpled ball in front of the sarcastic bar patron, who now has even more viscera thrown upon them. And they're like, "Oh, this is my day."
And just, I'm going to look at the sarcastic bar patron and be like, be careful, don't slip in that. And I'm literally going to turn my back to them.
Great.
As if I'm walking back to the bar. That's the end of my turn.
That's where you end your turn. Last up, we have Bruno. What is Bruno doing in the midst of all this carnage?
Can I cut in first because I held my action?
Yes, you
Because
can.
I want to help out Bruno.
All right.
So I would like to punch this guy in the head, the creepy bar patron. I want to punch him in the head and then take a second attack action and slide him down the bar to Bruno.
All right, well, let's see how this first attack goes before we start talking about a second attack.
Okay, that's fine. That's my plan. So we rolled a 9.
For the attack, all right. Yep, that definitely hits. And so go ahead and roll the damage, and then go ahead and we'll just add 5 to that.
So I hit a 1d6 plus 1 came out to be a 3, plus 5 is 8.
All right, so you deal 8 damage to the face of the creepy bar patron. Your fist, his face. That's what he gets for staring. He is dazed at best, seeing stars, has lost the ability to stare. There's sort of maybe a slight concussion happening currently.
Good.
If you'd like to go ahead and do your second attack.
Cool. And then would this also be a melee attack?
Yes, so your plan is to slam him on the bar and slide him down.
Correct.
So the attack will just be normal melee attack like you just did, and then I'll have you do an interact check for how the slide goes.
Cool. So we roll a 2 plus 1 is a 3.
I mean, yep, it's enough. You got there.
Okay, cool.
I'm so confused on that.
I was like, a
What
3? Is that gonna hit?
What do we have to roll to not hit them?
A 1.
Good
Oh,
God.
cool. Awesome.
It's melee. They're right there. How are you gonna miss that, right? Like,
Well, I mean, being pissed drunk.
I'm pissed
Sure.
drunk, I figured. So 1d6 plus 1, we get a 6 off of that, plus 5 is 11. Unless
well-
we're doing the damage different because he's sliding down the bar, which is fine.
so you're going to slam him in front of you, right? Mm-hmm. And would you like to roll? I'm gonna give you a -5 to this interact check because you are
love it.
absolutely pissed drunk.
Okay. I got a 13.
Wow.
Nice.
So here's the real kicker: is you have successfully slid an unconscious body directly in front of Bruno.
I tenderize him for you, Bruno.
The creepy bar patron was out the second he hit the bar with his face, which you did to him, and then you just decided to slide him through. And so in front of you now, Bruno, is a very unconscious and very creepy looking bar patron.
Bruno yells over to Hermes, I appreciate the gift, but I believe this one is already spent. And I just kind of push him over the bar away.
Raffle through his pockets.
He falls behind the bar, and in that moment, Moxie's like, no creeps, and smashes a bottle over his head, and then sends him back over the bar for him to lay unconscious for the rest of the day.
You're grounded. All right, I pass.
Alright. In that case, Bruno will walk over here to the vigorous Pard patron, greets them with ciao, buongiorno, and then with his tail he picks up the drink and drinks it right in front of the bar patron, and then headbutts the bar patron afterwards.
So sort of behind where you were is their table. It's sort of a half table that's built into this other section of the bar that's, you know, for if you want a quieter bar experience for some reason. But they are still on the rowdy side. And so you walk directly up, grab the mug, and chug it. Go ahead and make your tragic effects of alcoholism roll.
Alright.
Yay!
Again.
Everybody.
We've been drinking before.
Essentially, I just walked up to this person and say, "Hi, how are you?" And then just threw up on them after drinking the beer right in front of them.
I like to imagine you winked first.
I did wink.
Wink while you're checking it. Put the mug down. And just honk everything that you have in your stomach right onto their lap.
Oh, amazing.
Oh man, the only thing I can hear right now is like Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones.
Alright, and then that's 2d6 acid damage for me, so I'll go ahead and roll that. Oof.
Whoa! So you walk up, slam the mug, immediately vomit. Whatever the vigorous bar patron was drinking was a lot stronger than what you were expecting, and you throw up directly onto them. And also you took 11 acid damage for the pleasure. That's so much damage. I'll still let you do the headbutt, but I'm gonna give you a -1 because their forehead and their everything is very slippery now.
Alright.
So it's going to be a little bit worse. It's sort of like if you like, you know, the rubs that they put on boxers' faces so the punches slide off. You've just done that, but with vomit.
Okay.
In spite of everything, you roll a 19. So you will be dealing an extra die of damage with this headbutt. Go ahead and roll.
Alright.
Amazing.
Bruno rolls a
Wow.
14.
I imagine like they get rocked and it's like a Buster Keaton film where they're like slipping on the floor. Whoa.
As you say it is exactly how it happens. They immediately see stars. You've broken their nose fully with this headbutt. Because I mean, you went in with the horns, right? Like you didn't.
Yes.
This isn't like a normal headbutt. You hit them with the horns that are from your forehead up, right?
Exactly.
And so they are busted and bloody, and they slip in and fall. And it looks like they would much rather stay down there and pass out than get back up, but they're not fully out yet.
Alright.
Rough day.
I believe that's it for me then.
Okay, well, after all of this commotion, the bar patrons get to act for the first time in this bar fight. So starting with the sarcastic bar patron, who's had a time, the sarcastic bar patron is going to target the nomad, making an attack roll, getting a 6, which is just normal attack, but they're going to throw their pint. So the pint that they had in their hands when all of this went down, it's probably a little bit spoiled with probably some vomit in it, to be honest, right? There's really no way that it didn't get vomit in it from where he's standing.
Right.
Is going to chuck it directly at the nomad's face and is going to deal 5 damage to the nomad.
That's fair. I mean, he's so loud.
And then going to hop to the other side of the table so that it doesn't have to deal with the vomit anymore. The vigorous bar patron is just going to take cover. Is just going to like crawl underneath that table and try and stay out of the fight. Because they are very, while they try and figure out where all of the pieces of their nose are.
Probably in their septum.
The albino bar patron is going to also take cover. They're going to get tuck under the other half of that table, and then I'm going to spend 2 of my delicious mayhem. Or I guess 1 of my delicious mayhem.
Oh no.
that you all have been so kind as to give me,
No problem.
and make them take a badass action also, in which they will blind throw at Bruno. So the bar patron is behind cover, and they throw up to 2 objects near them, reducing the attack roll by 2, deals 2d4 plus 1 damage per object if they hit. So they are going to attack you and get a 7, or sorry, I guess a 6. Still enough for a normal attack. So underneath the table, they grab a bar stool and their mug. They throw both of you, and they're going to roll 44 plus 2 and deal 13 damage to you, Bruno.
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
So you get smacked with the bar stool, and then as you're kind of dealing with that, you also get smacked with the mug. The bar stool does a little bit more damage, but still, it stings. You feel the wind get kicked out of you a little bit. The rest of the bar patrons are going to begin moving. So you have the shitty bar patron is going to hop up on this bar over here and just be shitty about it. The verbose bar patron is going to use language that you've never heard before to describe all of the ways in which they're going to make you pay. The bitchin' bar patron is going to do a guitar solo, but like air guitar, so that's cool. And the crass bar patron is going to use additional language that you've never heard, but for different reasons, to tell you all the ways that they're going to beat the shit out of you. And with that, we are back up to Penumbra.
So the sarcastic bar patron, I'm going to run and jump from table to table, and when I get to him, I am going to do what's called a running single leg high knee. So
Okay.
I'm going to like run at him and leap toward him while I throw a knee into his face.
Great. So you jump from one table to the next table. Actually, I'll have you make a... This is probably a thing you've done before. You don't have to make a traverse check for this. This seems very much in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm not drunk yet. That's everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other consideration. You were not drunk, and you've definitely jumped from table to table before. So why don't you go ahead and make your running knee strike?
Okay. I rolled a 23,
Oh, shit!
which
Nice.
does double damage.
Goddamn V-triggered him.
Damn.
Oh, buddy.
Hell yeah.
14 damage to his sarcastic face.
Aramis holds up a sign that's like 9.5. Like a judge's score.
So he is going to fall backwards and almost lifeless. And then when he hits the ground, that is going to be the final straw to take him out of this fight. And he immediately, you know that thing where like you knock someone out so hard that they just like start snoring immediately, but they're not really snoring. It's when they're just trying to swallow their tongue. That's what happened to this guy. So he is
Great.
out.
I love watching Penumbra fight.
It is really fun.
So much.
Not that you need to, but would you like to do anything else?
Since that was only 2 movement, can I continue moving away from this disgusting vomit?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would advise that.
Okay.
That was my fault. Sorry about that.
So next up is Dove and Duck Norris.
Yeah. So Duck and I are going to move together. We're going to move up here. But I'm not in range, but Duck still has 4 moves on his own. So Duck's going to fly up diagonal 1 and then forward 1 more right beside the shitty bar patron.
Okay.
And he's going to take a smack at Clawner in the eyes.
Duck Norris flies up to the shitty bar patron. Gonna get a swipe in, so why don't you use those
He's going to
claws?
swipe right at her eyes.
It's all aerial stuff because that person's standing on the bar. It's way up there.
That's all right. He's Duck Norris. And we hit a 5.
All right, so you did full damage. So the shitty bar patron is gonna be like, ah, and is gonna like start swinging their mug around at Duck Norris.
And Duck's going to fly back with me because he's got 2 more spaces to move. So he doesn't get hit by her.
It's like, ah, you fucking sky rat. You know, who's shitty. So is that it for Dove and Duck Norris?
Yes, Duck and I are good.
All right, Hermes, you you're kind of by yourself here, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think I have to hold my action at this point because there's not much that I can do solo. Yeah, let's just hold action and see what other people do.
Okay, so then next up would be the Nomad. You see Hermes like spin around on the stool at the bar,
Just spinning.
He's got his fists out, and he's just kind of like looking around, waiting to for someone to get in range.
I shout out to the nomad, human javelin.
Okay. I think I'm gonna move here, just kind of away from the pile of puke, closer to the bar, whence I came. Let's see here. Fastball special?
I consent.
Okay. So, I pick up Haramis. Kind of feet in the palm of my hand, kind of guiding his torso with my other hand. And I kind of like launch him forward. At the same time, he extends his legs completely, so he jumps forward. I'm gonna try to throw him in the general direction of the vigorous and albino bar patron.
Okay, so they are both hiding under the table currently. So you're basically gonna try and throw him at the table.
I thought the albino guy came back out because
He threw things from cover, like he was trying to, which is why he got the minus. So I think it's fine. I think with the force that Hermes is probably going to land on that table, he's probably going to go through the table and deal a similar amount of damage.
Knowing that,
The shitty bar patron is like in full view.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, knowing that he can't just spider monkey onto someone's back. I think I would throw him toward the shitty bar patron.
Yeah, I want to ride the shitty bar patron like a rodeo clown.
Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Sounds like something. All right. Okay.
Is this enough to qualify for a badass move?
Yeah, this really sounds like a badass move.
It does.
With this, it's going to be you and Hermes together, right? The only one who would still be able to hop onto this would be Bruno, but you don't have to. You can kind of continue doing your stuff.
Up to you, Bruno.
Yeah, I'll move back to Nomad and help with the toss.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna do like a cheerleader toss.
Exactly.
I would say, I want to make this more badass. If you are helping, maybe just stay there where you were.
I move here and then like I just relay him onward.
I was thinking you stay where you are, and I'll
Okay.
run and jump off of like your back and just do basically a cannonball into the vigorous bar patron under the table.
But what about Aramis?
Oh, he's gonna go flying first. I'm gonna throw him and then just run the other way and do a senton. Yeah, like Kevin Owens cannonball into the
Can
corner.
we please call this the Flying V?
Yes.
Initiate the flying V.
Instead of jumping off my back, I turn around and like I cup my hands and kneel down as if like to make a step for you that I'll lift you up in the air as you step on my hands.
Just blocking out the sun.
Exactly.
Like the Tower of Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy, but we're going in different directions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. So the issue with this is now I have to come up with a fucking number for difficulty for this insane shit. Okay, so Nomad, you've already moved once, right? Like you moved back, you moved a space so far.
Yep.
So you could still get to Bruno and leave. Okay, so that's not, it wouldn't be an extra movement to do that. Hermes, you're living in the world that your alcoholism has created. So you have to be thrown.
I am an object.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm going to say this, because there's three of you, I'm going to say this would be a difficulty of 22.
All right.
Okay.
So before you roll, Nomad, you're going to get your +5 because you're doing a wrestling move in there.
Okay.
Fuck. All right.
All right. +5 to that. We win. We did it, guys. I rolled a 21.
Nice. Thank you for carrying.
I mean, all I had to do was just basically help boost you. So.
Give me a high five on the way by.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nomad, you rolled a 21. Hermes, you rolled a 7. And Bruno, you rolled a 2. From all of the weight on Nomad's back for carrying this team, this succeeds.
Yeah.
Lift with your legs.
Mark isn't badass because it's badass.
All right.
Yeah, so I would throw Hermes first from where I'm located, just across the bar toward the shitty bar patron.
Okay.
Duck Norris and Dove, you may have to duck.
And as he's traveling through the air, I run forward right into Bruno's block, where he launches me into the sky. And I just grab my knees and fall to my back right onto the vigorous bar patron.
Okay.
Can we drop to the floor to make sure we're not caught in it?
Yes, you see all of this coming through I would say Duck Norris really spots what's about to happen and communicates to you because it's all through eye language, right? Hermes is
Yes.
is just nodding. He's doing his best. Jack Nicholson, nod like yeah. And then the Nomad looks over at Bruno, and Bruno's like yeah. So let's resolve the Hermes pinball first. So Hermes, why don't you go ahead and make a melee attack?
Okay.
Yeah, and describe what you do when you get there.
So as Hermes is flying through the air, he's just gonna Sharingan copy whatever it is that the Nomad's doing, and decides to land on his back as well with his elbows out. He's got the big backpack that's made out of metal, so it should do a lot of damage.
Okay.
You rolled a 12, so just a normal attack. You do get your +5 damage on top of whatever it is you roll here.
Okay. Which is a 6 plus 5 is 11.
Tell me how this takes out the shitty bar patron.
I think I just land directly on her head. I mean, I don't think the human spine is really built for these kinds of weights. Or maybe we could pull an RKO in there? I don't know. I've been hanging out with these wrestling geeks too much.
I don't think you're as cognizant to how it all goes down. You just know that once you land, you hear a sickening crunch, and you look down, and the shitty bar patron is just unconscious, just falls off the back of the.
Instead of an RKO, it's an HFG. Your initials.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh. I got it. It's an HFG. I like that.
All right.
So let's resolve this nonsense over here next.
All right. So yeah, just as soon as I hit the air, don't care where I'm going. I'm going somewhere, it doesn't matter. But I can't see it. So I'm hoping I land on that table right on the vigorous bar patron.
All right, so go ahead and roll your melee attack, and we'll let that determine kind of where you land.
+5.
Yeah?
All right, I rolled a 12, which is a hit.
Okay, so you are going to land kind of between the two. So I'll say whatever damage you deal, we can split.
All right, I rolled a 22.
Yeah, so let me just go ahead and split that between the two of these. Vigorous Bar Patron had 1 health left, so they're decimated under the table, and the Albino Patron had full health, but that didn't matter because they are also decimated. So what do you see as you recover from slamming through the table?
Well, I'm just looking up at a ceiling fan that has a few of the fan pieces just snapped off. It's effectively pushing nothing.
Yeah.
But it's still going, and I'm just laying there laughing. That's it. I just see the ceiling.
All right, and underneath you hear no sounds because they are both unconscious.
Yeah.
Bruno, you turn around and look, and you just see just a pile. It is a dog pile that's happened, and you're like, yeah, I did that.
Nomad, you beautiful bastard.
Nomad, for this badass move being successful, you get 4 badass tokens. Bruno and Hermes, you each get 2.
Pleasure doing business with y'all.
Good work, guys.
The pleasure was all mine.
So the verbose bar patron is their turn now. The verbose bar patron is going to run up to where Hermes has just slammed the shitty bar patron to their death. Well, not death, their unconsciousness, and is going to start describing all of the ways in which they are going to hurt them, but it's mostly just going to be as they throw their pint at you.
Okay.
It's going to deal 2d4 damage, as it was a normal attack. So Hermes, you take 7 damage from the pint being smashed up against you, and you learn a couple words, which you won't remember in the morning. So
Yeah, probably not.
the bitch and bar patron is going to move up just a little bit closer. Definitely is probably the smartest of the three, even if not the most verbose, and is going to chuck a pint at our friend the Nomad here, who is, it seems like an easy target, who's just laying down. Once again, does a normal attack. Hits like normal. Oh, I guess it does +2 damage. Never mind, I lied. So this attack, the mug comes and hits you kind of in the side of the head as you're laying there staring at the ceiling fan, and you take 9 damage while you're prone.
That breaks my shield.
Okay, wow, now it's getting serious. None of them had shields, so they're just like, this seems unfair. This seems like an unfair fight that we're in. It's the Crass Bar patron who's speaking now.
You can always run.
It's what you get for abusing alcohol.
So the Crass Bar patron is gonna be like, this shit's just that's not cool. You gotta stop. You fuckers. You piece of shit with the horns. And throws their pint at Bruno, who they see as a easy target, who's just standing still now because they are just basking in what they've done. So again, another 2d4 +2 damage. It's 5 for Bruno.
All right.
But that is it for the remainder of the bar patrons, who seem to be kind of cornered at the sort of back of the bar with no exit. So they're kind of making their last stand. Penumbra, what would you like to do?
All I'm gonna do on my turn is I'm just gonna move since I am around this corner. I'm just 1, 2, 3. I'm done.
All right. So after all of your acrobatic skills, now you just gotta get back over to where the fight is.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Dove and Duck Norris.
All right. Duck and I are going to move up here closer to the action. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Can I take this stein right here that's on this table, and I want to chuck it at the bitch and bar patron?
Okay.
But full. I don't want to drink it. I just want to chuck it full.
Smart.
Okay. So that will be an interact check
Okay.
to attempt that. I think it's just a standard, like just throwing a thing.
Yep. We rolled a 9.
9 will get you there. Go ahead and roll your melee damage.
Should be 1d4, I think.
Yeah, plus whatever your damage bonus is, your damage mod.
I don't think I have one. Oh, yes, I do. Hit with a 22.
Damn.
So I get double damage.
Sweet.
Woo.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll damage. And we rolled a 10.
All right, so you deal
So as high as we could.
10 damage, and I'm going to say that the bitch and bar patron is always just like, yeah, just sick. And so because he has his mouth open, he's going to have to roll on the tragic effects of alcoholism for the drink that you just gave him. So, well, I mean, he's still up. His accuracy sucks a little bit more now, but he might do a bit more damage if he gets to attack again.
That's what I call a strong drink.
And since we're still right here, Duck wants to attack the verbose bar patron again because we're
Okay.
back up in that area.
Yep. So you would run kind of across the bar. Duck is still on your shoulder. Now Duck's gonna reach out and touch.
Claw at her face again. So we're gonna roll the 1d4 plus 1. And he rolls a 5.
Full damage again.
Highest again.
Duck Norris is continuing to prove that his claws are lethal weapons.
Does that make this lethal weapon too?
No.
I'll go away now. I'll get out. I'm sorry.
I didn't really set you up for that lethal weapon line.
Listen, as soon as you can move by your own volition again, you need to get out of here.
Understood.
Everyone just stops. They're like, get out! Get the fuck out of here after everything that's happened. That's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Damn it, you can beat up this bar, you can knock people out, you can bludgeon people to death, but you will not make puns in my fucking bar.
All right, Dove and Duck Norris, are you done?
We are done.
Okay, so Hermes, would you like to do anything on your own?
Hermes is gonna just try to roll off of the bar and land on top of the person that, the verbose bar patron.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're adjacent.
I was so hoping that's what you do.
It's like the part in Wolf of Wall Street where he's trying to get to his car after he
I'm
takes
like-
like the ancient lewds.
Yes, exactly.
I've been sitting here like, how am I gonna get over to help? There's just
This is the dwarven drunken fist, all right?
it's awesome.
So with all of your might, you will your body to like throw yourself off of the bar onto the verbose bar patron, which seems like this is just going to be a standard melee attack. So why don't you go ahead and go and make that roll?
Cool. We got a 12.
That'll do it.
That's
You've
a hit.
thrown your body onto the verbose bar patron. Deal your damage +5.
Damage +5, 7 + 5 is 12. So just sit on them with my ass.
As you throw yourself onto them and you're very close to passing out, they're just like, inconceivable, and then they go unconscious.
I'm starting to think you don't know the meaning of that word.
Would you like to do anything else? I feel like that was the most effort you possibly could have put in. So
No, I think Haramis is pretty well fucked at this point. He's good.
next up, the Nomad.
All right. I want to do something very, very simple. I want to walk forward to the crass bar patron, grab them by their wrist, and Irish whip them toward Penumbra.
Oh, okay.
Just pull them in and just get them running toward Penumbra, who should still have an attack.
Sure, this is a bar fight. I'll allow it.
Fair. So whatever move Penumbra wants to do, beat the shit out of the crass bar patron. It's all in you.
Yeah, sure. So I want to do this fancy little move. So if they're coming at me, I'm going to make sure that their head goes more towards my legs. And I'm going to do what a very good friend of mine told me I should do and try a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need a description on that. That sounds cool.
Hold on, I got it.
It's really known in these parts as the Northern Pandoran destroyer, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Sorry about that. But it's also called a flipped pile driver.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a front flipping pile driver.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine you doing a front flip and landing on your butt, but with someone's head between your legs, and you take them with you.
I mean, if that's your kink, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Okay.
So the TLDR of what a Canadian destroyer is it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
My favorite move.
Same.
That's dope.
All right, let's see it happen. I'm excited. Let's fucking go.
So what do I have to roll?
So I think this would be an interact check to throw them. All right, a 13. I was gonna say it was gonna be like an 11 because this is a bar fight, so it's not completely impossible, but it's still they don't want to be thrown across the room.
Okay.
So you ended with a 13 that is successful. You have sent them directly into the waiting legs of Penumbra, and then what happens?
Then
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a
Damn
25 for
Christ.
double damage.
I mean, it wouldn't be, a Northern Pandoran destroyer if it didn't fucking destroy. So go ahead and roll damage.
18.
Dang.
So describe how they're no longer with us.
This is the only one that actually died.
So when I did it, they might have landed on their neck just a little wrong, and I might have heard a couple extra cracks. Whoops.
Well, she's not the safest worker. But gets the job done.
The Crass Bar Patron is no more.
And they bleep off the map.
Yeah, so that was the Nomad's turn, huh?
Everybody take a bow. That was great. Oh wait, there's still.
Yeah, still got one.
Bruno, would you like to finish them off?
Sure. Bruno runs up to the last remaining bar patron and, upon arriving, does a spin and smacks him with his tail.
Okay. Is it like a flourish? Like almost like a dance move? Or is it more like an attack kind of?
Well, I was going to say Bruno uses tail whip. It's very effective.
We'll see how effective it is.
It just lowered their accuracy.
And hit's a hit.
Yep. Bruno rolled a 5 for the accuracy and an 8 for damage.
All right. The bitch and bar patron is just like, oh, respect, and then passes out.
I imagine it being, but not the strongest tail whip. I imagine it being more insulting than there for damage. It's like the tail goes up in the air and then comes down at an angle. It just like a challenge for a duel. Dying of shame. Ah.
Okay, so as the final bar patron passes out, there is a smashed table, vomit in multiple places, mugs destroyed everywhere. Part of the bar has been crushed in, and many bar stools are destroyed. So as you're picking yourselves up off the ground and wiping off the blood and teeth of everyone else, Moxie turns to you and says, "Now come on, who's going to end up paying for this?" And at that moment, before you can respond, Ellie comes back in to the bar finally and lets you know, "Actually, don't worry about it, Mom. The city guard's going to pay for this. This group here, they're going to go find Queen Butt Stallion."
Well, that was a good session, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you guys, as always, get the chance, you can check us out on our socials, at Bad Assets on Twitter as well. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, you can catch the video form of the show over on YouTube. So go check that out, and thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good one.
Arrivederci.